those guys generally just fall by the wayside. Yeah.
This day, hey, I'm reading the drummer from Guns N' Roses book right now.
Stephen Adler.
Stephen Adler.
Yeah.
His book's
What
filled
do you
with
think?
obviously heroin and cocaine, and
Absolutely.
it made me realize, I mean, America must be so different to here.
Yeah,
There's
man.
not a single band that could get away with that in our country.
Yeah. I don't touch heroin.
No, well, yeah, but obviously they said they're always on it, and
that's it.
even their management.
Yeah, man.
Actually, I'm making that up, but oh shit. Hang on.
Oh. Is it? The call coming through to the studio.
Hey, you're live. You're live. You okay? We're still recording. Yeah, we're just wrapping up. I'll be home soon.
No, I just want to say that there's not much
She's sweet.
soda water left in the fridge.
Oh, thank you. I'll get some.
I even went to the shop right now, with Teddy,
Yep.
and I forgot to buy soda water.
All right, you're beautiful. All right, I'll pick some up on the way.
Okay.
See you, babe.
Bye.
Bye. My phone broke, so I can only put it on speaker.
See how good is that?
Bit awkward.
Take a call mid.
Yeah,
You're lucky it wasn't
I'll
anything
edit
like.
that out.
You're lucky it wasn't anything like. Oh, hey, honey, the rash is back up again, and can you pick up that? Sorry, hey, stop. I can edit this later, right?
What's he talking about? What are we talking about?
What were we talking about?
The dodginess of rock
Oh
and roll.
yeah, no. Well, you were talking about how people want to look at someone and go, oh, I want to be like that guy, or I want to be like this guy, and
exactly.
yeah. So like, it does happen, but I think that again, like this is probably just me showing my age, right? And just the years of everything I've gone through. I can only speak from personal experience. I'm not going to sit there and say how it should be, or because there's no rule book. There's no fucking rule book at all. Sorry, I didn't know if I could say that. Yeah. But there isn't, man. Like there's no rule book. There's no. It's like when I first went for a guitar lesson when I was 13. I had one guitar lesson in my life, and I walked out and I said, "This is horseshit. I'm going to teach myself." Because I sat down with this teacher who was like, "You have to hold the guitar like this, and you have to play it like this, and you have to play." I was like, "Dude, if Jeff Healey can sit there with a guitar on his lap, blind, and play it like this, don't tell me what I have to do. Just give me the guitar, show me what I need to do, and let me do my thing." And that's what I did. I just totally went, nah, stuff the man, not giving my lessons. I just taught myself how to play by ear. I wasn't lucky enough like the kids these days with YouTube and lessons and I can slow this down and do that. You just had to do it by ear. And these days, that's all clouded. Like none of that happens. Like people don't have that focus anymore. Everyone wants everything straight away. Everyone expects everything straight away. They want everything really quick. So the whole perception of I want to be like this guy, I want to be like that guy, is horseshit. Because you're not going to make it doing that. You've got these days, if you want to be in a band, you want to get somewhere, you have to treat it. And again, like I said, my age, you've got to treat it like a business. You've got to have a good time. You've got to enjoy doing it. Don't get me wrong. But I think when you're starting a band these days, you need to go as a modern band, as a new band. Doesn't matter whether you're 16 or whether you're 60. Right? I mean, because today the recording industry is not like it used to be. You don't have to be this age and this age to make it big. You can be 55 and become an international sensation. So, and that's the glory of the internet. We talked about all these negatives, but there are huge positives to it too, right? But you have to treat it like a business. You have to do something. You have to be proactive. You have to market yourself. You have to, I'm a producer and I'm an engineer as well, right? And I work with big studios and I take bands and develop them and I do artist development and I work with upcoming bands and bands that are already established on how to get better and how to do this and how to do that. And the number one thing bands tell me is, how do I get a record deal? It's the biggest question I get asked all the time. Working with the producers that I work with or the studios, how do I, hey, Corey, we know that you know all these labels and you know all these people. How do I get a record deal? Work hard. Treat your band like a business. Don't stuff around, Decide what you want to do. Are we just a band to just muck around and have beers with and have fun with on Friday nights? Or are we a band that wants to go out there and actually make a career of it? Have a business plan, have goals, have 3-month goals, 6-month goals, 12-month goals. Have merch, sell your merch, have recordings, have good quality recordings, not crappy CD stamps and this and that and the other. Go out there and spend money. You've got to spend money to make money. And in the record industry, a record label is nothing but an overglorified bank. Right? So I tell everyone the same thing. If you want a record deal these days, you need to spend money on yourself. because no major record label or even an indie or a minor record label is going to look at you and invest money in you if they haven't seen you invest money in yourself. It's that simple. It's that easy. You want to get noticed? Fine. Go out there, get 20,000 fans on Facebook. Great. That's your job to do that. But if you want a label to look at you and take you seriously, show us what you're doing to be proactive about this. Can you run yourselves a business? Because right now, all they're going to do is go, here's a stack of money, and if it doesn't work, you've got to give that money back. And so many artists get screwed over because of that. They don't see the ugly side of the industry, where if a record company comes along and goes, here's a gold record, but we gave you 500 grand, and this record didn't work out too well. Again, I know heaps of artists that are still in debt to major labels.
Yeah.
And they will be for many years to come, and they only survive by doing their live shows because that's the money that they get.
We used to do gigs for Dragon and, and Spy versus Spy. There were a few that constantly toured. I don't know about the Radiators, but, the Radiators toured forever.
Heaps of bands.
But the idea was that they're paying off a debt. Like,
but you got heaps of
big
bands like
party
that
they had back in the day.
Yeah, there are current artists, current guys out there. Again, I won't mention any names, but guys I know who are sitting there still going, oh, man, I've got to go on tour. I've got to go and book some shows. I've got to go and do some solo shows. I've got to go and do this, or I've got to go and do that, because they know if they go and do a solo gig at a pub will book them and give them a $15,000 guarantee. They're like, wow, there's the bills paid for the next month, because they're used to that lifestyle. But then they're sitting there going, well, I'm all over the radio. I'm not making any money out of it because XYZ Records over there is taking 90% of it. And not only are they taking 90%, but I'm paying back the debt on top of that 90%. So I'm only servicing 10% of my wage to that debt. So I'm going to be paying that off for the rest of my life.
What do you think when you heard that Slipknot was getting $1.6 million for the Summer Sonic?
Yep.
That blew my mind.
Yep. It's a lot of money.
And I saw
That's
that.
a big guarantee.
Actually went. Never go out to
but
festivals.
You know what? It's great to hear about all this stuff, and it's great to hear how much money these bands get told they're going to make. But again, there's that ugly side of the industry. You only have to look at the demise of things like Soundwave and other festivals, and guys out there doing it tough, and they're like, here's a huge guarantee, but then it doesn't happen. There are so many bands out there in the world, big name bands, that are still owed millions from these $1 million guarantees that they're never going to see. You know what I mean? It is sad. It's really sad.
But that would obviously mean they have made that much money because they did the.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I actually can't believe that.
There are bands out there that will
$600,000 to come to Australia.
There are bands out there, but that's nothing. That's changed compared to some of the. You get some of these bands.
I actually thought it's a lot. It's like I never thought it would be that.
You get bands like Metallica come out, or just depending on what the promoter guarantees them. It's all up to the promoter. The promoter goes, here, man, I'm going to give you guys X amount of dollars for your tour of Australia. This is how many dates, how much you're going to charge us. We want this much. They pay them. Then they go and sell the tickets for telephone numbers. The promoters make more money half the time than the bands, because it's the promoter that sets the ticket price, not the band. Right? You've got these promoters out there that are selling Madonna tickets for $600 a ticket. Well, they know punters will pay it. So they're making the money on it. But they're probably tripling the money they've outlaid to get Madonna here in the first place. Do you know what I mean? So it's just that kind. It's business. It's all business. It's all dollars. It's all crunching.
Can she play guitar? I saw a photo of her last night.
Don't know.
Standing there with like a flying V.
Does anyone care?
No, but it actually made me pause. Like she was.
That actually makes me not want to play guitar. Like I've just decided right now I'm going to become a drummer. Not a very good one. So if anyone needs a session drummer, cheap, call me.
She was in the middle of this stage.
Yep.
In 3 hours late or something, whatever. But I would never, just no interest in. I know her show's going to be full of miming and costume changes. The ladies love it, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
So whoever loves that.
But you can go to Brisbane and go to musical theatre. Hey, I can see a drag show in the Valley for like $5, and there's no difference. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, I'm not bagging
But what I was
Madonna,
getting at,
but
does she actually stand there in the middle of her show and start rocking out a flying V?
Who knows?
It made me go.
I've heard she can play a guitar.
I hope so.
But who knows? But that's just me. I'm just not a Madonna fan. So,
what made you come to the Gold Coast?
Oh, I was too young to make the decision. It was my parents.
Really?
Yeah, we moved up from Melbourne.
Did they?
So I'm a Melbourne boy.
Okay.
Born and bred, and then we spent some time in Sydney, but it's always been Melbourne. That's where the music scene was. It was my mum and dad were friends with the Molly Meldrums and all those guys.
Right.
So like that was kind of the scene, 70s and 80s, and then we came here in the early 90s, and it was just big shock for me.
Yeah.
Because when I came to the Gold Coast, it wasn't about
a
like
country
all,
town.
well, all I was, it was for me, it was all about music. You know, I didn't go anywhere without my guitar next to me. I had my acoustic guitar next to me all the time, or my electric or whatever. And I was just obsessed with it. You know, when I came here, I went to school. I remember going to school the first day.
What school?
Went to Eleanor Primary.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And then I went to Eleanor High.
Who's
and
that
then
band?
Benoa- and
Who's
then
that
Benoa
band
High.
from? Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone. And lots of famous people came from Benoa.
Yeah.
They do, you know.
Yeah, your Peter Andres and
Peter Andre, the guy from Unit.
yeah, Sophie Monk.
Sophie Monk, yeah.
Yeah.
Good school. I don't know.
Soph and I dated for a little while at high
Did
school.
ya?
Yeah.
Yeah, good kisser.
Don't remember.
Just say yes
Okay.
for me. Did ya?
She's okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Hello.
Oh, well. Hey. Hey.
Who else then?
But, no, there was a few, there were a few around, but yeah, they were my schools. But I remember going to school and just going, this is so shit. I want to go home. Like I just kept saying, I remember going home the first day after school, the first day of school. And, you know, Mum's in the kitchen. She's like, how was school, darling? I'm like, Mum, can we seriously just pack everything right now, get in the car and go back to Melbourne, please?
Yeah, what suburb in Melbourne?
I was an eastern suburbs boy. I grew up in South Yarra and
Yep. Okay. That's
around South Yarra.
Sort of in the city.
In the city, yeah. South
right.
Yarra, Toorak, all that sort of
Massive.
hobnobby sort of
So
area.
to be at Eleanor, what suburb did you move to? Yeah, and I'm only asking this because I remember the Gold Coast when they built Q1 in 99, 2000.
Well,
or
the first
more,
place you
2004?
moved, the first place
That's
you moved to
yep.
was Tallabudger Drive, down in Tallabudger Drive, down in
Proper
Palmy.
country, small town,
Yeah.
which it still is. You know,
But coming
thankfully.
from Melbourne, coming from the big smoke of Melbourne, right in the city, you know, I mean, catching trains to school and this and that, the other, just the hustle and bustle of it all. Excuse me, and just
Yeah.
it was such a culture shock because, like I said, going to school, it was all about footy, swimming, running, and I was like, I've never heard of these things. Like a guitarist does none of this. What is running and sport? I've got to go and do sport. In Melbourne on like sport day, it wasn't sport day. It was like activity day, and people did basketball and football and soccer. And soccer was huge in Melbourne because it's, you know, it's not footy down there. Or AFL is huge down there. And I love to play AFL with my friends in the schoolyard. But when it was sports day, I was with the band. Like there was like band 101. Right. So you got together in this big hall with a bunch of people and you got guitars and you got drums and you could play. And that was cool. Up here, there was none of that. And I just felt so detached. I was like, oh, I'm in the wrong ocean right here. So moving to the coast was hard.
Yeah.
And growing up in the 90s on the coast too, because big house scene and dance scene and stuff. And if you were a musician, you found it hard because everyone was into hip hop and R&B and house and going out clubbing and stuff. And you know, there were venues to play though. And that was the good difference.
Well, the dying venues.
Yeah.
I remember Playroom and all. They all.
God, I loved playing that place.
Me too.
Yeah, it was one of my first gigs.
But I knew, like, every time I went back there, another show, less people here. Another time, less people here.
Less people here.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and just sort of, you know, big bands were still showing up, of course, but
yeah.
I could feel it, you know.
I was actually having a laugh with Jeff Martin about it because I saw the tea party at the Playroom.
Right.
I was like, man, I remember seeing you guys on stage, you know, when I was just a teenager.
Maybe I
We're
did
just
too.
we're just having a good laugh about it. And I'm like, you know, today I'm just sitting in your lounge room. Here we are having a jam and eating food and talking
He's got a
shit.
great voice.
Jeff,
That dude.
oh, phenomenal.
Like
He's amazing.
you
I
know
wouldn't
that-
tell him though. I won't tell him that if you're listening, Jeff. But he's
but
he's
you
a
know,
great guy.
amazing. Like shakes the room.
You know what? Exactly that. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not biased. Of course, I'm biased. He's a friend, yeah, and he's a very dear friend, and I have a very big respect for Jeff because of his mentality towards the art form. He really is, in the true sense of the word, an artist. You know, I've met so many musicians over my career, big and small, talented, not so talented, but for a guy who can sit in a room full of instruments and pick any one of them up and just turn it into some kind of sonic magic. Even just last night, you know, we were sitting in his lounge room and We're up in the studio till all